Hello my dear students. Today's our topic is food security. Is it? Today's our topic is food security. Why we are going to discuss this topic? Once you understand. That is the theme of the topic, whatever we are going to discuss. Food security means in our country some portion of the people were insecure. Some section of the people were insecure. Those people were not able to eat daily basis. There is not availability of the food grains for them. They are not accessible to get the food, and they are not affordable for the food. Hence, now we are going to discuss this topic. Who are the people they are facing the problems, and what are the solutions? What is the actual scenario of this food security? Why the government launched the various programs to secure the people, to provide the food to the people, that we will discuss today. Okay? Next. As per the NCERT records, as per the NCERT, National Council of Education, Research and Training textbook, as per the NCERT textbook, it is 27 crores of the people. 27 crores of the people were poor. Okay? Most of the poor people are in Bihar and Odisha. Right. So, as per the NCERT, 27 crores of the people were unable to meet their daily necessities, unable to meet their needs like food, clothes, shelter, isn't it? So they are poor. So poverty also one of the reason for the lack of food or insufficient food for them. Poverty. Example, as per the Suresh Tendulkar committee, it is also not given. These are whatever data I am sharing to you. This data is not given in our textbook as per the NCERT. Suresh Tendulkar committee, Rangarajan committee, they also say that day by day, every year, considerably most of the poor people were increasing, isn't it? Increasing. Whenever population raises, the same time poverty percentage also increasing. But the speed was very less. While compared to the past 2 decades, it was very slow. But we have to discuss about the poor and poor's conditions and food security. Yeah. What are the reasons for the poverty? What are the reasons for the food security? What are the reasons? Why most of the people were, they are unable to meet their necessities? Because there are various reasons are there. First one is British policy. British policies is also one of the reasons. Second one, illiteracy. Third one, unemployment. Next, uneven development. They may ask you to, for 1 mark or 2 mark, what are the reasons for the poverty? What are the reasons for the food security? What are the reasons for not availability of the food grains? The first one is British policies. Sir, how British policies are also reasons for the food insecurity of the not availability of the food grains in India? Because I wanted to share one more important incident which took place in 1943. In 1943, in Bengal, famine occurred in Bengal. Bengal famine occurred in 1943. Many people were died. Even the cattle also died. Animals also died. Many, because due to the British policies, also unfavorable policies towards the Indian. Illiteracy, majority of the people were illiterate, then there is not availability of the jobs or not availability of the food grains, also one of the reasons for the illiteracy. Next, unemployment. So they are skillless. Whenever they are skillless, that also one of the reasons for unemployment. That unemployment is also reasons for the poverty and also lack of food. Next, uneven development. Certain states were well developed, certain states were not developed. Developed states, underdeveloped states. Those states are underdeveloped states. These states are, there is high poverty ratio is there. Example, you see Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha. Lot of mineral resources are confined in Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, but they are not developed while compared to the other states. These were not developed. Okay. Next. So the famines, British policies are reasons for the famines because they did not take any measures to stop or to prevent from droughts and famines. Okay. Next. Why? Famines occurred due to the insufficient supply. You have to understand that famines 1943 famine, 1943 Bengal famine occurred due to the insufficient supply, or supply is not organized. Because Bengal famine, reasons for the Bengal famine, insufficient supply, insufficient supply. Yeah, first reason is, what are the reasons for that? British policies only. In British policy, what are the reasons? One is insufficient supply. They did not provide supply properly, or the supply not organized properly. Supply not organized properly. Yeah, these two are the main important reasons. Right? After we got independence, government organizing supply through various departments. After independence, government wanted to provide the food to each and every poor people. Those who are unable to afford, the government providing these food grains through Anganwadi, and the government providing certain food. What are the basic requirements to the children? Okay, the nutritious food through Anganwadi. Even the pregnant ladies also will get. Okay, small kids also they will get up to 6 years age. Next, government also providing midday meals to the students all over India. Okay. Next, government also fair price shops or ration shops. Government organizing ration shops, so that there will be a little bit change during the British period and Indian period. So whenever we got independence, government is concentrating on this food, because they wanted to provide to the poorest of the poor, or those who are unable to afford for the food. Next, to provide food, what we require? To provide food to the each and everyone, those who require the food. First one is, three components are very important. First one is availability. Availability of the food grains. Second one, accessibility of the food. Third one, most important, affordability. So these three are very important to provide food to each and everyone in India. Availability of the food grains. If you have availability of the food grains, then there is a need to accessible. Means whenever we have access food, more food grains, then we can provide, that can be reached to the other person. You do not have anything, how that can be reached to the other persons? So that accessibility, the meaning of the accessibility is to reach. For example, myself, I have million tons of food grains myself, but that is not reaching to the poor people, that will be rotten, that will be wastage. Next, whatever that is reaching to the people, there must be affordability. For example, availability is there, accessibility is there, but the cost was very high. They cannot do. Example, you see, this year, onion prices, approximately 180 to 200 rupees kg, it was reached, isn't it? So that we cannot afford, it is available in the market. When we imported from Egypt, it was available. Still it was till 100 to 150 rupees were there. We are unable to afford. The poor people were unable to purchase because of they do not have purchasing power. Please remember, we need to afford, we need to have purchasing power. We need to increase purchasing power, isn't it? So these three are very important to ensure the food security in India. Then we ask, to ensure the food security in India, what we have to do? We have to do that. We have to make sure these three. One is availability of the food grains, accessibility of the food grains, affordability of the food grains, isn't it? Next, producing sufficient food grains is an important requirement of the food security. How we can secure the people of India in demands of food? Because producing sufficient food grains is an important requirement to the food security. Because we need to produce sufficient food grains. Whenever we are able to produce sufficient food grains, then it is able to reach to the people. Whenever it will be able to reach people, that should be afford. So that the government, what they did, majority of the people were unable to afford. Okay, as per the National Institute of Nutrition Okay, their survey reports and Indian government survey reports, the people were underweight, isn't it? Women's also underweight while comparatively. So that the government wanted to provide food grains in subsidized prices. For example, outside 40 rupees kg rice is there, rice per kilo. But government providing us 1 rupee kg rice. It's better. They can afford 1 rupee, no issue. Isn't it? They can survive. Not quality, but okay, they can survive with this 1 rupee. It is nowadays it is quality food is coming from the government, from the ration shops. 1 kg, 1 rupee per kg, it is, they can survive. Yeah. Let us compare. Is it India food grains are day by day increasing or not? It is increasing or not? In our textbook they have given about data. They have given the comparison of 1970-71, next 2011, next 2010-11, 2010-11. Let us compare day by day food production increasing or decreasing. In 1940, 1970, 71, first one 40 million tons. 40 million tons of paddy. 40 million tons of paddy was grown in the year 2010, 11, it was reached to 95 million tons. 95 million tons paddy, say. In 1970-71, 40 million tons of paddy was produced. But it was 95 million tons. That means approximately double, more than double. Next, second one, 25 million tons. 25 million tons. 25 million tons of wheat was produced in 1970-71. It was reached to 88 million tons. 88 million tons in 2010 and 2011. Next, third one. Just only we have to compare three. Third one, there was 9 million tons. 9 million tons of jowar. Okay, 9 million tons of jowar, but it is in 2010 and 11 only 8 million tons. 8 million tons of jowar was grown because most probably farmers are growing only the paddy and wheat, and the portion of the growing area or the food grains cultivated under the jowar decreased. Jowar decreased, but paddy wheat increased because majority of the people in India they consume paddy, that means rice. Then rest of the people in North India and Northwest they consume wheat. So whatever the requirement they consume, most of the farmers or people of India, these are producing. And the coarse grains, the millets, the considerably declining day by day. So that area under cultivation, we can say that paddy wheat increase. The production, the cultivatable land under paddy and wheat increased because area under cultivation increased. Area under irrigation also increased. So that food production also increased. I repeat, they may ask. Give reasons for the increasing of food production in India from 1972 to 2010. Because cultivated area increased, then production was increased. Cultivated area increased, production was increased. Irrigated area increased, then production was increased. HYV, high yield varieties. High yield varieties of seeds we are using, so that millions of tons have been increased whenever we compare it to the 40 years, 1972 and 2010. Next. One of the important aspects is that the inputs, we need to arrange the irrigation facilities to them. We need to arrange the inputs in a judicious manner. I repeat. So to expand, what we have to do? What we have to do for increasing of production. Increasing of production. What we have to do for increasing of production? Yeah, tell me your ideas. First one, irrigation facilities need to be provided. Irrigation facilities. So we have to remember our previous lesson that we have learned that 40% of the land, less than 40% of the land was under irrigated. Remaining percent of the land, it have to be depends upon rain. Okay. Next, second one, subsidized. Government need to be give loans Government have to give loans to them. Agricultural inputs, government have to give agricultural inputs to them, and government have to give inputs to provide in a judicious manner. For example, government they'll give most of the loans to the Punjab, Haryana because they have lot of lands. But the marginal farmers, whatever we discussed in the Rampur village, the marginal farmers they were unable to get that. Okay. Next, irrigation facilities, government have to give loans to them, and government have to provide seeds and pesticides. Seeds and pesticides. Whatever the seeds and whatever the pesticides, farmers want that better to provide by the government, because sometimes we may read that many times we read in the newspaper that nakli seeds. Okay, the seeds whenever they sow the seed that may not grow, especially in the cotton plantations that we may have read and watched in many times in our news channels. Okay, next, to raise production. To raise production, what we have to do? Next, to raise production, the fourth one is very important one. Plant drought resistant crops. Planting drought resistant crops, very very important. Planting drought resistant crop. Planting drought resistant crops. Yeah. Planting drought resistant crops. This is the important one. Fifth one, water harvesting. Water harvesting. Sixth one, crop rotation. This what we have to do for increasing of production. Irrigation facilities need to be increases. Government have to provide loans. Seeds and pesticides provided by the government. Planting drought resistant crops. Example, bajra, jowar, certain millets. For example, grams, green gram, Bengal gram, horse gram, okay, red gram. These are that can be increase the soil fertility also. That crops may increase the soil fertility. That is the fixation of the nitrogen to the soil. At the same time, that soil also can give us very valuable pulses to us, isn't it? So, drought resistant crops. Jowar is a drought resistant crop. Wherever there was a low rainfall records, most of the people they may go for the jowar. But jowar is declining day by day because they doesn't want, because if they wanted to sell the jowar, less price they will get, less money they will get. Next, the crop rotation. Crop rotation is very mandatory we have to follow. If all the members they plant paddy only, the majority of the members they plant wheat only, what if the rest of the things? We want vegetables, we want fruits, we want variety kind of the diversity food basket we require. We doesn't want only wheat and paddy. We want a diversity food basket. Every human being wants diversity food basket. So that can be fulfilled with the help of crop rotation. We have to be focused on the crop rotation. Then automatically certain crops may increase in our India. So these are the reasons we can do that to raise the production in our India. It's very very important. In annual examination, questions may arise from this concept. I repeat, from this concept, question may arise in our annual examination. Next. Okay, sir, your idea is very good. Pretty good your ideas. Yes, sir, good idea. Let us focus like whatever they have shown in recently one movie, Bhishma movie related to agriculture. But at the same time, whenever we do these things, we have to make sure that soil and other natural resources not be damaged. Whenever soil and other natural resources should not damaged. Yeah, what kind of things they have done? Sir, how it will be happen? We go for more pesticides, chemicals and fertilizers. It will be very dangerous to us. Okay? Soil fertility, the soil also lose its fertility, and other natural resources like groundwater. The groundwater may be depleted. Okay? So some of the scientists also report that. They report that the way rice and wheat the way rice and wheat intensively or unscientifically they are producing with the help of chemicals and fertilizers. With the help of chemicals and fertilizers, unscientifically, intensively, in India we are producing rice and wheat. It will be very damaging. It will damage the soil, it also damages the fertility, it also damages the depleting of water resources. Water resources completely they may go down. Then the future generation may not have water for especially for drinking, not for the irrigation, not for the food crops. Just for the drinking, this water may not available. That is the scientist point of view. According to the scientist report, that the way rice and wheat are cultivating in India are intensive and unscientifically due to chemical fertilizers and insecticide. So due to this, soil it lose its fertility, groundwater also depleted. So that we have to concentrate whenever we are trying to raise our products, we have to concentrate these two things also. We want more production. If we want more chemical and pesticides, it will be suicide, self-suicide. It will be definitely self-suicide. But temporarily it is okay. 1-2 years it is okay. But we can go permanently, continuously. It may be majority of the people of the country may die or their life expectancy will be decreased. Next, availability of food grains. Availability of the food grains. Thus, food grains are available to all. Availability of food grains. Yeah, availability of the food grains. I said to you 3: availability, accessibility, affordability. Okay, so that we can able to produce for all. Produce grains for all. Yeah, what is the meaning of that? Availability of food grains means what? Produce grains for all. Second one, what? It needs to reach all. It need to reach all. Next, per capita availability of the grains. Third one is per capita availability. Per capita availability. Per capita availability, because per person, if the grains produced, if we divide per person in India, that is sufficient. If not sufficient, it may lead to lot of health problems like kwashiorkor, marasmus problems may come, underweight problem. Okay, that we can see in the Eastern African countries like Somalia, Ethiopia, Uganda. Most probably the people are very poor nowadays. There are very lot of problem they are suffering due to corona effect. Okay, so there is a difference between. We have to find out that there is a difference between the production and availability. We have to find out. We need to find out what is there is a difference between production and availability. How much production is done in India and how much food grains are available in India. How much food production was there and how much production was happened in India and how much availability is there. Let us see how the calculation we will calculate that. Yeah, to calculate that, availability of food grains for the year. Availability of food grains for year. Yeah, for year. Availability of the food grains for the year. Yeah, for the year. How we can calculate? Because it can be calculated production of the food grains during the year. Production of the food grains in the year. Yeah, in this year, how much production we done? Plus net imports. Net imports means how much export we are doing and how much grains we are importing. That is called as net imports. Okay, net imports minus change in stocks. Minus change in stock with the government. Yeah, government means that opening stock will be there. Opening stock and the closing stock. Yeah. So availability of the food grains for the year, we have to calculate as per this method. Production of the food grains in the year, that means seed, feed, wastage. Production of the food grains in the year, this include food, grains, wastage, feed. Food, feed, wastage. These three. Net imports. Net imports. For example, we are exporting more in our India. No food grains. For example, we are importing more. More food grains are available in India. So we have to less. Exports minus imports. Exports minus imports. Then net imports will become net imports. Then after minus change in stock with the government. How much last year in 2019? What is the opening stock? How much opening stock was there? For example, 1000 million tons were there. But in the opening, but by the closing only 200 million tons only will be there. So 200 million tons. 2020, 200 million tons were there. So 2020 again the Kharif season, Rabi season, again 1000 million tons were there. So the opening will be 1200 million tons. The opening will be 1200 million tons. So this manner they calculate usually for the availability of the food grains. This is the calculation method. I repeat, production of the food grains during the year plus net imports minus change in the stock with the government. Change in the stock means opening stock and closing stock. Okay. Next, production of the food grains in the year, that means feed, wastage, grains. This also includes net imports, exports and imports. Exports and imports. So this is availability of the food grains for the year. Now let us see availability of the food grains per person. Availability of food grains per person. Second method, availability of food grains per person. Yeah, per person the food grains are available or not? Yeah, it is equal to availability of food grains per person per day. Per person per day. Or per day. Yeah. Availability of the food grains per person day. Per day. Yeah, how we can calculate availability of food grains for the year? Availability of food grains for the year divided by population. Yeah, availability of the food grains for the year divided by population into 365 days. Then the average per capita grains will become. So how much grains we consumed? For example, we have consumed 121 crore 1,93,422 we consumed. Okay, this many kgs of 1,121,000 or 121 crore 1,93,422 tons of kgs of production we have done. So what is our population? Same our population 121 crore 1,93,422. Okay, then it will come 1 kg. Per capita consumption is only 1 kg. Every person will get 1 kg. Okay, so that this is also very important. Next, in the table in our textbook, in government they have mentioned about the calculations 1977 calculations they have done. 1971 calculations, 1991 calculations and also 2011 calculations. As per the 2011 calculation, there will be a considerable change in the food pattern. There is a considerable change in the stocks. Sometimes in earlier there was the stock was limited. In 1971 stock was limited. That time government imported most of the material from the other countries like Vietnam, Indonesia. They imported much of the grains to produce, to give, to distribute to the poorest of the poor in India. Yeah. Next, nowadays, day by day, consumption is increasing. Okay, and the production also increasing. Due to that, to meet these stocks, government, they are using FCIs, Food Corporation of India. It was set up in 1965. Okay, it was set up for the buffer stocks. If anything will be happen, so now for example, due to corona problem, the government of Telangana giving 12 cases per head. 12 cases per head. Where these 12 cases? Does our CM in our CM house these all are stored? Not. These all are stored in FCI. In any other aspects or any emergency circumstances that may be released. That may be released the food for us. Next step. So there will be change. Government took responsibility is that they wanted to provide accessibility, availability and affordability of the food. Next step. What are the consumption pattern? Consumption pattern. Let us see consumption pattern. Yeah. What is consumption pattern? How the consumption can be changed? You know, if we all wanted to eat paddy, all members need to be produced paddy only. Or else it may not meet our needs. So that we have to think, okay, it is very good for the consumers and producers for the change of the consumption pattern. They have to change the consumption pattern. We have to change the consumption pattern. Then they will change their production pattern. That will be from both sides. From the consumer side, from the producer side, it will be benefited. Dual benefits. What is the dual benefit? Consumption pattern. When I change my consumption pattern, then the producers also change their production pattern, isn't it? Next step. Yeah. In the earlier phase, in the lesson, I have discussed with you that diverse food basket. Diverse food basket. What does mean diverse food basket? Diverse food basket means what? Means we need to eat a diversity, different kind of the food material we have to eat. Among that, we have to eat vegetables, we have to eat fruits, meat, other grains, coarse grain, cereal grains, different kinds of the grains we have to use. That is also very important for us and very healthy for us. And the nutritionist also suggests that you have to eat this much of grams of vegetables per day, this many milligrams of milk, milliliters of milk you have to take. You have to take daily one egg, and you have to take this many of coarse grains, fruits they have to take. There is a data is there, pattern, this complete food pattern is there. So that what we can understand, diverse food basket means we have to eat different kinds of vegetables, different kinds of food grains. Then these also will be help in the production of the other materials, other horticultures. You know that India is ranking second in the horticulture. Okay, India produces various fruits and vegetables that we have done in the 9th class. But many of members where need to be depends upon the diversity food baskets. Yeah. What the nutritionist suggests? Nutritionist suggests that. Nutritionist suggests that 300 grams of vegetable. 300 grams of vegetable. Every person per day they have to eat 300 grams of vegetable. But the availability is only 180 grams. Availability is only 180 grams. Then every person per day 100 grams of the fruits. 100 grams of the fruits they have to eat per day. But the availability is only 58 grams. 58 grams. And also they say that 180 eggs per annum. 180 eggs per annum, but available eggs are only 30 eggs are available. This nutritionist suggests that every person must eat 11 kgs of meat per year. 11 kgs of meat per year, but availability is only 3.2 kilo per person. Okay, and also suggests that 300 milligrams of milk. 300 milligrams of milk we have to drink, but availability is 210 milliliters. 210 milliliters. So that also given as example is that we are lack. We need to produce more vegetables. We need to produce more fruits. We need to produce more eggs. We need to produce more meat, and we have to produce more dairy farm products. So that here to fulfill our diverse food baskets, the farmers, the producers, the corporate companies, they have to be must ensure on this aspect whatever the nutritionist suggests. Because If the only paddy will increase, wheat will increase. But day by day, the per capita consumption of the rest of the things may be, rest of the things may be increased due to different reasons. So that we can say that farmers also require, we can easily say that farmers also require to adopt to the different section. They have to be, for example, they are producing 10 acres of the land paddy, they are irrigating, they are cultivating paddy. So in the one acre of the land, different kinds of the production they did, that will be really benefit, because paddy also will come and rest of the things also may come for us, which can be fulfill our diversity basket. So farmers also require capture the market. They have to capture the market. Many of the farmers, they don't know of these kind of the statistics. So that the awareness need to be created by the government, and research institute like agriculture research institute, agriculture research colleges need to be create awareness among to the farmers for the better inputs for the crop pattern or crop rotation and water harvest management, planting different of rotation of the crops also. That is the responsibilities, our responsibility, government responsibility, at the same time other corporate company responsibility, at the same time farmers also need to be take initiative. Okay, so careful planning is required. To fulfill the same, what we require? Careful planning is required. If the planning was not good, definitely we may fail. If 1-2 times we fail, and farmers may not go again to the farmer may go to again to their same paddy pattern or wheat pattern. So that when we adopt to the different diverse crop pattern, definitely India per capita availability will be definitely increased. Why I am saying, sir, availability of the per capita consumption of the grains were very less? Because there is a statistics showing that against of the European countries European countries per capita consumption. European countries per capita consumption is 700 grams. Whereas USA per capita consumption, United States of America per capita consumption is 850 grams. So that India per capita consumption was very less than that. So that we can say that decline in the per capita availability of the food grains. We are very somewhere else we are very lag well compared to the European countries and American countries. Other American countries also, even we are lag in the South American countries. So decline in the per capita availability of the food grains is something to be worried. Declining per capita production was availability of the food grains was something is worried. Okay, so that what the government will be take steps in the for the secure the people of India in very secure in regards food. So in this session we have done that what is food security, what happened, how much poor percentage were there, what is the need for availability, what is availability, accessibility and affordability, and is production was sufficient in India or not, and what are the problems we may face to raise the production, and how the availability of the food grains per year and availability of the food grains per person, and what is diversity food basket we have done in this session. I hope I have cleared up this lesson. Thank you children. Thank you very much.